What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video we're talking about the soon to be possible chairman of World Rugby, and that's Agustín Pichot. He has responded to my video. He shared on Twitter and on Facebook at both his accounts saying, "Gareth Mason, I think you've built a great platform. Thank you for the video, my friend. We all know that change is needed. The crisis is our opportunity. If we want change, we must vote for it." And I think that is so important that we know it's needed. We know World Rugby is not focusing on what the fans want, what we need. And that is change, bringing the game to what we want. What do we want? We want to see the South versus the North Provincial. We want to see more international rugby. We want to see a Southern Hemisphere-based Lions team. We want to see change instead of creating more rugby, which continues injuries. And we want to see equality around the sport where everyone's treated equally and there's no bias focused on the North or the South or whatever it may be. It needs to bring the game together because that, at the end of the day, is what will bring the money in. That's what we're currently missing out in World Rugby. We're not seeing people sitting on the seats anymore. Why? Because they're just not excited. They're not entertained. And I'm talking mainly South. South needs the biggest shake-up that we could see. And how's it going to do it? Revamping Super Rugby. It has to be done. Including Pacific Islands into these tournaments. Producing a more competitive tournament that allows everyone to be ignited and entertained. If we look at Super Rugby the past few years, what have we seen? A dominance by one nation. And why? Because of the conference system. If they shake things up and reduce the tournament, it's going to get bigger and better and more exciting. And it allows opportunities for South Africa, New Zealand, Australia to really build, as well as Argentina. We've seen changes that have been good. Don't get me wrong. There have been some good things. Argentina joining the Rugby Championship and Super Rugby. We've seen this country go from not one of the strongest but to a very competitive nation, which they've lost in the past few years. So it's great to see Argentina rugby on the rise because they joined the Super Rugby campaign, and I think that was the biggest element, having the Jaguars produce the goods. And I think these things need to happen in order for us to see a global change in the game. Because one thing's for sure, we want what everyone else wants, and that's to really go watch live games anymore. We need to bring the pride back into the sport rather than the money into the sport. I know these days everything's about money and getting your incomes, but we're losing the fact of the pride side. Who plays rugby these days for pride? And that is so important for a junior to learn, to start up in schoolboy level, to get that dream of playing club, to then going provincial, to then going national. Those are your childhood dreams. Now we've seen players sacrifice their international career for a better opportunity financially. Now I understand this, and I have mentioned this before. If I get a promotion, I will obviously take it because it's going to better my income, my opportunity and growth. So I can relate to these things, but what happened to playing for the pride of the game? And I think those are the important instances of how we need to develop the sport and pair the two of playing overseas and playing nationally. How they need to fix that puzzle because it's currently broken is how to fix those two. And what we really need is more focus on the South to bring investments to it. Why is European rugby so strong? Because people are investing in the tournament. If we don't introduce the tournament to more nations that aren't familiar with rugby, we're not going to grow. So putting it in the States, people think, oh, it's a crazy idea. America know nothing about um, rugby. Exactly that. Exactly my point. They know nothing about rugby. How will they know? By bringing a sport to them. Look at what the Rugby World Cup did to Japan. It ignited something special in that country. Put the Rugby World Cup in the States where there are people with money falling out their pockets. Those guys can invest in the sport and take the sport to another level. just my thoughts to really get things going again, because the more people talk about it, the more change is going to happen. Because if we sit back and whine to our friends over a few pints and drinks or whatever it may be, nothing's going to happen. But if you create these platforms and channels in order to communicate, for me, 4 years ago, I was sitting working, never thought of this. Now, 4 years later, I've got the Vice-Chairman of World Rugby acknowledging the work I've done. I mean, those are the opportunities you need to take. Use your voice, get out there and make things happen. Because I promise you, if I can do it, you can do it too. That's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you real soon for another one. Augustine, if you're watching this one, I'm available if you need an assistant when you get the chairman job. Contact me. Live in South Africa. It's going to be cheap for you to afford me. So let's do it. Stay safe, guys, and have a good night.